Today is the first session. So, if you are new to RPA, if you are new to robotic process automation, if you want to know what is the RPA process, what is the RPA life cycle, so I'm going to talk about next 3 hours. Now the time is 7:30 till 10:30. I will be explaining you complete RPA life cycle. What happens in a RPA real-time process? How we get the project, what activities we do, all the RPA life cycle activities I'm going to explain. Basically, RPA life cycle, you know, any RPA project, we have a methodology. In robotic process automation projects, we have a methodology to understand. Okay, so this is the complete RPA. What to say? Different stages. If you get any RPA project, these are the different stages: discovery phase, solution design, build and test, user acceptance testing, go live, and run phase. So, what do you mean by it? Let us say your client just we go with the example. This entire story, we'll discuss with an example. This entire story will discuss with an example. That is, you know we'll go with one example. Let us say HSBC has given a project to us. Our client is HSBC. And we have a process for them. The process name is risk advisor process. Okay, so basically, let's say HSBC has given a project. The process name is risk advisor process. Generally, the first question from the client, is this process eligible to automate by using robotics? Can we automate this process using robotics? If we automate using robotics, what is the benefit of this automation? What is the benefit of this automation? Is this process eligible to automate by using robotics? If we automate by using robotics, what is the benefit of automation? That is the first question. So, this see here we have different stages in RPA life cycle. So each stage is going to address different answers. So first of all, you people having like you or clients are having lot of questions in their mind. So I'm going to write down first list of the questions in client's mindset. What kind of questions they have? So any client, before giving RPA project like you, before learning RPA course, even clients are also having lot of questions in their mind about RPA. So I'm going to document first some of the questions. So and I'm going to give you answers stage by stage. The first question is, so I have so many processes. So just I'm talking about client perspective. I have so many business processes. So in my organization, I have so many business processes in my organization. Which process or identify list of processes which are eligible to automate. Identify list of processes which are eligible to automate using RPA. I have so many processes. I have so many business processes in organization. So which process is eligible to? Which list? Identify the list of processes which are eligible to automate by using RPA. This is the first question from the client. Okay, how you decide? So which process is eligible to automate using RPA? Identify the list of the business processes which are eligible to automate using RPA. Okay, so example of the processes, each company has having different processes like risk advisor, HR recruiting, onboarding a new employee. There are each process has different processes, right? The second question from the client. The second question from the client: what is the benefit of this automation? See, all these are questions. Most of these questions are common between you and clients also. You are having, so many people are new to RPA today. So you are having a lot of doubts in your mind. So why I'm learning RPA? Similarly, clients are also having the similar set of questions. So they're talking about, what is the benefit of RPA, right? So what is the benefit of RPA automation? This is the client question. Tell me what is the benefit. Why we need to implement RPA? We need to purchase a tool. We have to implement. Development cost, licensing cost, infrastructure cost. So tell me the benefit of RPA automation. Tell me the benefit of RPA automation. Okay, so this is the second question from the client. So third question, so third question, which tool is better? Which tool is better to implement? Which tool is better to implement in RPA? So there are a lot of tools, right? Blue Prism, Automation Aware, UiPath, OpenSpan, Nice, Jakarta, so Work Fusion, Win Automation. Multiple tools are there. Multiple tools are evolving also. Multiple tools are evolving also. Okay, so the question is, which tool is better to automate using RPA? Because the tool selection, there is a criteria for tool selection, and the tool selection criteria, it may change from process to process. It may change from process to process, at least, so let's say, okay, HSBC client having 20 processes. Out of 20, 10 processes are eligible to automate. Out of 10, 5 processes are better to automate by using Blue Prism. 5 processes can be automated by using Automation Event. Which tool is better? And the fourth question, okay, excellent. You identified the few processes for automation. You told me the benefits also. So the question is, so tell me about estimations. So total estimations means how many resources are I need to hire, how many RPA developers I need to hire, how many RPA testers I need to hire, how many RPA leads I need to hire, what is the resources planning, so time, so schedule planning, how many days you need to implement this, when it will be go live. So they're asking about estimations, total budget cost, so how much amount we need to pay to you. So total, they want to see the breakdown, so complete breakup. So they want to see the complete breakup. What is the license cost, development cost, testing cost, deployment cost, maintenance cost, how much time they need to spend. So this is one question, so estimations. So estimations is very very important topic. They ask mainly, because otherwise you will not accept, right? See, you need, let's say, sir, what is the course fee for you? Timeline, course time, course fee is important. Client cost is important. Schedule is important. Resources. So how to hire the resources? What kind of skilled resources they have to hire? That is the fourth question from the client. Okay, and the fifth question, you know, fifth question, they will be asking questions about, so explain the challenges you are going to face, how you are going to how you are going to provide solution, how you are going to provide solution, how you are going to provide solution to RPA process. They want to see the design of the project. So solution design, SDD. They want to see the solution design. How we are going to provide the solution to the RPA. They want to see the project design, right? So that is the next question. So they need mainly, they need, in fifth point, I can say there are three topics: process design, solution design, technical design. See, what process we are automating? What process we are automating? Discovery phase. identifying list of appropriate processes to be automated, discovery phase, identifying how we are automating, how we are going to automate the design and all. So design, estimation, tool selection, design, estimation, tool selection. So all these are the second phase, which is called as solution design. Right. So I'm going to explain you those projects very in detail. So just I'm going to talk about clients interest. And after giving the design or before giving the design, so they're having a lot of confusion in their mind what they're doing. So they're asking, so POC development. They're not giving direct contract. They're not giving, so do this 20 processes automation, 6 months contract, like that they're not giving. They're asking you to do a POC, proof of concept. They're asking you to so quick POC development in 1 month you spend 2 weeks time, so come up with one POC, then we decide about the contract. So they're talking about POC development. Once the contract is signed, so they're happy with your work. The contract is given to your company. RPA implementation is given to your company. Once RPA implementation is given, then so then their questions are infrastructure setup. We know you can write. See, they said you people can write the code. So you people can develop the project, develop the script. But the question is, so infrastructure setup, how many licenses we have to take, how many licenses we have to take, how many Blue Prism licenses we have to take, how many automation anywhere licenses we have to take, infrastructure setup, how many licenses we have to take. Okay, so infrastructure setup is a infrastructure setup, environment setup is very big topic actually. So this is one realistic challenge currently in IT industry, infrastructure setup. It comes to RPA, this is the one realistic problem. How many licenses we have to take? How many bots? I mean, license means bots we have to take. For example, I have 20 processes, 10 bots. How to schedule process with bot? How to do that mapping? How to use maximum? So with the minimum licenses, we have to run more processes. So all these things are the so important points. They talk about infrastructure setup, disaster recovery, security, and one more client question is so security. So because so your Blue Prism automation anywhere, these tools are going to your Blue Prism automation anywhere, these tools are going to use the our client data, bank data, or insurance data, or healthcare data. So they talk about security. So otherwise they have to follow some rules. So if they give blindly their data just for automation, they cannot give it to the any tool. Just for automation, they cannot give their data to QTP tool to load the data to production. They cannot give production data to QTP tool or Selenium tool. Your QTP or any tool to access the HSBC production data, it should be certified. Security, it should meet security standards. It should meet security standards. So these are the some of the questions. So and the ninth question is, okay, everything is ready. So the tool, so we implemented the process, we tested it. So how you test RPA, how you test RPA project? So RPA is a development, so it requires some testing effort. How you do testing of the RPA projects? It requires some testing effort, right? So how you do the testing process and all? Because in real time, most of the challenges we have seen, so we develop a script and we are not testing the huge volume of the data. So we are testing with 1 2 records or 1 2 sample data which is failing in the production. So RPA testing is becoming popular now. Currently, developers are doing this, but in future, definitely testers are required to do separate RPA testing. Okay, so this is one thing. So how you test it, and what about the support? Let's say we developed the script, and we have deployed the script. The script is deployed to production. Then definitely there will be some changes. So giving see, once RPA is moved to production, giving support is also important. Once RPA is moved to production, so giving support also important. So maintenance of RPA maintenance projects are coming now. So so let's say HSBC has implemented 1,000 bots. 1,000 bots are executing 10,000 processes. So all the process, some of those processes are critical. Some of those processes are critical. So the bot is running on behalf of a human, right? So if the bot may fail, infrastructure failure, exception. So how to handle the unexpected scenarios? So there should be a maintenance team. I'm going to, so these all are, clients, they want to know this. Similarly, you are here, most of here, the people are here, to know what exactly RPA means, what is the RPA process, what is the RPA life cycle. So today, this week, this Sunday, I'm going to explain you complete RPA life cycle. Next Sunday, I will be explaining you RPA architecture. So that will discuss by end of the session. So I'm trying to target explaining you RPA process so that you will get answers to most of these questions in today's session. You will be getting answers to most of these questions in today's session. So hope you understand the agenda of the session. Hope you understand the agenda of the session. So what is agenda of the session? RPA life cycle. Okay. So basically that is the agenda of the session. So let's go with one by one. So I will explain you. So these are the pages. If you want to note down, you can write the different phases of RPA life cycle. So many people are not knowing about this point. So RPA process is very important. So these are the different stages, and we'll discuss about discovery phase for next 45 minutes or 1 hour. Just a second, I have my material for discovery phase. Okay, so in RPA life cycle, we are going to talk about the first phase. The first phase is, discovery phase. In discovery phase, so these are the points I am going to address in discovery phase. Key points about discovery phase, different phases in discovery phase, process assessment in discovery phase. So these are some of the topics. Let us discuss one by one. The objective of RPA discovery phase is study and understand in-scope business process automation. Study and understand in-scope business process automation means, can we automate the process? If yes, what is the percentage of automation benefit? The difference between normal automation and RPA automation is, normal automation benefits are measured in, if you do any automation. See, RPA is also one kind of automation. See, logically there is no difference. It's an automation process where the manual work will be automated by some tool, some mechanism. But so you can measure the benefits of RPA automation in terms of FTE savings. That is the first point in RPA. RPA లో వచ్చే బెనిఫిట్స్ ని FTE సేవింగ్స్ తో మెజర్ చేస్తారు. For normal automation benefits, so generally normal any automation benefit we measure in speed improvement. But RPA, even we consider speed, all those parameters, but the major purpose of RPA automation is generally measured in so percentage of FTE savings. Percentage of FTE savings. What do you mean by this? Okay, so currently I have my loan process or risk advisor process, any kind of, I have a loan process. 10 SBI employees are working on that. If you automate by using robotics, how many employees you can reduce or how many employees you can replace by bots? That is the fundamental point in RPA. RPA benefits are measured in percentage of FTE savings. Percentage of FTE savings. Any doubts? What is FTE? FTE means an employee. Employee అంటే 20 employees are working. 20 employees are working on one process, which is automated by RPA. So that now just I need 10 employees. So remaining 10 employees work is automated by using different bots. I have a BPO office. They do some business process work. Now we automated it. Earlier I have 1000 employees in my BPO office. Now I want to reduce it to 500. FTE means full-time equivalent. The basic difference between any other automation tools and RPA automation is, see, it's automation. End of the day, automation means so without human intervention. If you are performing any work, it is called automation. But what is the specialty of the RPA tool? RPA tools are mainly used for reduction in FTE count. Reduction in FTE count. That is the primary benefit of RPA. So you have to explain. You have to explain before getting the project from the client. You have to explain, boss. We have done in-depth analysis on your process. So your company is having these are the processes in your company. We have done the analysis on your company processes. These are the processes which are eligible to automate. If you automate this process, this is the benefit. Second process, third process. So that's what. So that's why you have to do process-wise discovery, analysis, and you have to propose the percentage of automation benefit. Then client will prioritize based on his budget, based on his criticality. Client will give you, okay, these 20 processes automate using Blue Prism or automation anywhere. So the discovery phase, the primary purpose of the discovery phase is question one, we decide. So can we automate the process or not? Okay, here one important point is who involved in discovery phase. Sir, I am a RPA developer. So do we involve in discovery phase? In real time, discovery phase will be done by process architect. There is a role called process architect. So discovery phase will be done by process architects. There is a role called process architect. So process architect is responsible to perform discovery phase. Process architect. Sir, who are eligible to become a process architect? So if you have a strong domain knowledge, if you are having prior business analyst experience, so this subject, or we call him as a subject matter expert. You can call him as a subject matter expert or business analyst or process expert, process architect. So this is the new role in IT industry now. This is the new role. Generally, clients are hiring process architects. That means you are working in Wipro company as a RPA developer, and Wipro BPO has. So we are trying to automate Wipro BPO processes. Wipro BPO they are hiring SME for automation. So they decide they are not going to write the code. These are not technical people, process architects. Their job is to decide. They do sample study on the process. They decide the process is eligible to automate or not? If yes, what is the percentage of automation? What is the percentage of automation? And identify most appropriate business processes to be automated. One more point, your process may be having different steps. Step 1, log into Outlook. Step 2, copy the data. Step 3, paste the data in Excel sheet. Step 4, so upload the data to web application. Like this, your process might be having different steps. Can we automate each step? We call it as, it's so, is it full automation or partial automation? For example, in some of the processes, full automation is not possible. So there are 20 steps in the process. 18th step cannot be automated because it deals with text to voice system. It deals with text to voice system. Our 17th step is not possible to automate by using RPA tool. It requires decision making. Our 12th step is not possible to automate by using RPA tool because it is a government rule. Robot cannot log in. Only the people who has Aadhaar ID, they only to be log in, and your robot is not having Aadhaar ID, so it should not log in. It's a government legal rule. So their job is, process architect job is very critical in RPA journey. They have to decide the right process and benefits of the automation. Then only we move to next stage. But unfortunately, so many companies I have seen in so many projects, even in my company, they are not giving importance to this phase. They are blindly selecting, one project manager, or they are selecting this process to be automated. No, that is not the process. So in RPA, so we have to spend some time on discovery phase. You have to measure the benefit of automation. Is it full automation or partial automation? What do you mean by full automation? So you develop the script, schedule it. So no manual intervention. All the steps in the process are completed by robot only. There are some processes so which cannot be automated 100% due to different reasons. And the third and one more point. So the discovery phase outcome is, what is the complexity of RPA solution? So is this process is very complex, medium, simple? What is the complexity? Sir, how you decide the complexity? That is today's class. That is the responsibility of the discovery phase guy. So, okay, your client having 20 processes. Out of 20, 5 are not at all not possible to automate. 15 are remaining. So 15 are eligible to automate. So you categorize 15 into complex, medium, simple to automate using RPA. How we do that categorization also we'll discuss. But it is not your job. I am telling you for knowledge only. You need to understand the end-to-end story. So you may not involve in this activity. But if you are a senior resource like RPA lead or RPA manager, they might ask you to do this task. So otherwise, 0 to 3 years experience, they select the process, they give it to you, they ask you to develop the script, they may not ask you to do analysis phase. So this is the purpose. So if someone asks you what is discovery phase in RPA, this answer is enough. This answer is enough if you are a 2017 passed out. But if you want to put experience in RPA, so I'm going to explain you next 1 hour on RPA. 1 hour on discovery phase, that knowledge is also important. See this. So let us take a real-time example. Discovery. So we walk to a big retail bank example. We go to client and we will mainly raise this question. Let us see each of your vertical. So we need to do analysis, right? So we'll ask these questions. Let us understand how many verticals you have: loans department, deposits department, parts department, cash department. Let us see your volume. Let us see your data. Is your data is structured data or unstructured data? So let us see volume of the data, volume of the applications, how many employees you have, volume of the data they are handling per day, volume of applications they are handling per day. Let us see your FTE spread, how your employees are distributed, how many branches you have, how many countries you have the branches, who are working on the process, from which location they are working, what kind of data they are handling, is it structured or unstructured, is it repetitive process. So average handling time, how much time they are spending to complete the process, to do a action, how much time they are spending, we call it as AHT, average handling time, right? So like this, we ask questions to the client. So in discovery phase, there is a first step in discovery phase. See, this is the no, these are the activities under discovery phase. This is RPA life cycle. These all are the activities under RPA life cycle. This is the first step in discovery phase. So these are the activities in discovery phase. What is the discovery phase life cycle? So you can see town hall kickoff workshop. First we have an introduction meeting with the client. So where client will explain their team, how they are working, what processes they have, introduction meeting. Then we select some sample process, some five, so some two, three, four, five sample processes, and we do deep dive. I will show you how we do process assessment practically. So we have a template for to do the task. We capture the complete process information. How we capture the complete process information, I will explain you. Process assessment. We call it as a process assessment. Then, draw synergies across the process. For example, your client might be having five different processes, but some of the steps are common. So five different processes, but each process they need to download one Excel sheet, so that step is common. So instead of developing a different scripts for that, it is better to identify common points between different processes in your associated with your client. Then follow up the process assessment. So if you need more clarification or it has to be signed off, proper approvals you have to take. Then only we go to design. Then only your script development. So these are the activities under discovery phase. And in these activities, most important activity, second one, process assessment. Process assessment. What do you mean by process assessment? So collecting the complete data about the process, because this data is important not only to decide the process is eligible to automate or not. This data is important to decide to develop the technical design. To develop the technical design. Because the next topic is design. On what basis you design the solution? Based on the process assessment. How we do process assessment, we'll have elaborated discussion in coming half an hour, 1 hour. So these are the phases in discovery phase. So any doubts you have in discovery phase? What is the purpose of the discovery phase? Say discovery phase, in discovery exercise runs on the sample on each vertical. If you want to describe the discovery phase in one liner, we determine X percentage of processes can leads to Y percentage of automation, leads to Z percentage of FTE savings. This has to be decided by process architect during discovery phase. Total my client is having X percentage of processes, but we cannot automate all X%. So we have to determine how many we can automate, Y%. Okay, so and we need to tell for each process what is the automation benefit. Process wise, we have to explain. So boss, you automate this process one, this is the benefit. That is so in simple, this is the definition of discovery phase. So now you tell me, what do you mean by robotic process automation? Is it blindly developing the script or analyzing the process is important? This is important in real time. Unfortunately, people are only learning the tools. Here you will get complete information about the process. Then design, then only developing the script. And RPA is not an automation like just you record and playback. So it requires your enough understanding on. So lot of analytics, lot of analytical skills also required to understand how to convert manual work to automation. See, if anyone is not able to understand this point, so I'm talking about very simple thing అండి. ఒకసారి నేను తెలుగులో కూడా చెప్తాను. బాబు మనం ఒక క్లయింట్కి ఆటోమేషన్ చేద్దామని డిసైడ్ అయ్యాం. క్లయింట్ మనకు ప్రపోజల్ పెట్టాం మనం. క్లయింట్ వచ్చి ఏ ప్రాసెస్ని ఆటోమేట్ చేయాలి, ఏ ప్రాసెస్ని ఆటోమేట్ చేయలేము, ఏ ప్రాసెస్ని ఆటోమేట్ చేయడం వల్ల బెనిఫిట్ ఏంటి అని అడుగుతాడు మనం. అది చెప్తేనే మనం నెక్స్ట్ స్టేజ్కి వెళ్తాం. అది చెప్పాలంటే రియల్ టైం ప్రాజెక్ట్లో జరగాల్సిందేంటి, డిస్కవరీ ఫేజ్. అది నేను మాట్లాడుతున్నాను. ప్రాసెస్ ఇన్ఫర్మేషన్ ప్రాపర్గా క్యాప్చర్ చేయకుండా, ప్రాసెస్ని ప్రాపర్గా అసెస్మెంట్ చేయకుండా డిజైన్కి వెళ్ళలేం, డెవలప్ చేయలేం. కాబట్టి ఆర్పిఏ ప్రాజెక్ట్ లైఫ్ సైకిల్లో ఫస్ట్ స్టేజ్ డిస్కవరీ ఫేజ్. ఇంకా ఎవరికైనా అంటే అసలు ఆర్పిఏ అంటే అర్థం కావట్లేదు అనుకుంటే నేనేం చేయలేనండి. సో ఇది బేసిక్ పాయింట్. ఇది మనం ఫస్ట్ ప్రాసెస్ని ఇన్డెప్త్ అనాలిసిస్ చేయాలి, చేసి క్లయింట్కి చెప్పాలి, బాబు ఇది బెనిఫిట్, ఈ ప్రాసెస్ ఎలిజిబుల్ కాదు. సార్ ఎలా డిసైడ్ చేస్తారంటే అదే నా క్లాస్. నేను ఆ పారామీటర్స్ అని చూపిస్తాను మీకు. ఇప్పుడు కొన్ని ప్రాసెస్లు ఉంటాయి ఆటోమేట్ చేయకూడదు, వాటిని అవి ఏంటి, అవి ఎలా తెలుస్తుంది అనేది ఇప్పుడు మనం చూద్దాం. Okay, so still if you have any confusion, so something is wrong with your I mean you may not be actively interested in RPA. Okay, so discovery exercise, it is 2 to 3 hours for each process. So discovery exercise is just 2 to 3 hours for each process. Modes of discovery phase. Modes of discovery phase is, it is better to perform discovery phase in person. It is better to perform discovery phase in person, or in worst case, for example, your client is somewhere and he is not allowing you to travel, then it is better to have a Skype discussion, but preferable mode is in person. That means send your process architect to client location to understand in the production system what currently they are doing, so how they get, how many steps in the process. Always remember, this is very very important, because in my company I belongs to RPA capability team, so I go to different client location. So they used to tell, first they start explaining in a conference room, they start explaining theoretically by drawing the diagrams. We say no, we don't want this kind of creating. Show me your production system, what your team is daily actually what they are doing. I want to see live. I don't want to see diagrams and all. Show me how your employees are doing their work. Let us say you decided to automate loan issue process. How they are issuing the loan? We want to see the system. So don't take demo. If you become RPA developer, don't take demo on the training sessions kind of thing. Just your demo is live demo. Only live demo is allowed. So we directly go to, okay, so we are going to automate the work which is going to be automated by using let's say BPO team. Tell me what, show to us what they are doing now. We want to see live. We want to do their job manually first. First 1 hour I want to understand what they are doing. We do one time manually, then we decide whether it is eligible or not. So take a live demo always. Understand the manual process with live demo. Don't go with the theoretical demo, because if someone starts explaining, we have Excel sheet in somewhere, where you have Excel sheet, show me. Is your Excel sheet in Citrix or out of Citrix? So that's why never encourage explaining the flow diagrams and all in this RPA. నువ్వు ప్రాసెస్ని ఆటోమేట్ చేయమని నీకు చెప్పినప్పుడు, ఈవెన్ దో యువర్ ఆర్పిఏ డెవలపర్, గో డైరెక్ట్లీ అండర్స్టాండ్ ద ప్రొడక్షన్ సిస్టమ్ ఫస్ట్. కొన్నిసార్లు చెప్తారు వీ హ్యావ్ ఎక్సెల్ షీట్ సో అండ్ సో సర్వర్ అంటాడు. ఆ సర్వర్ ఎక్కడుందో కూడా మనం చూడాలి. అదర్వైజ్ సమ్ టైమ్స్ ఇఫ్ సర్వర్ ఈస్ సమ్ ఎక్స్ లొకేషన్, ఇట్ మే నాట్ బి ఎలిజిబుల్ టు ఆటోమేట్, ఆర్ ఇట్స్ ఎ కాంప్లెక్స్ ఆటోమేషన్. Okay, so output of RPA discovery phase is As I told you, the output of the RPA discovery phase, what is RPA opportunity, what is RPA opportunity, what is RPA implementation plan, what is high level business case. So discovery, so this three is the, what is RPA opportunity, we will summarize. Okay, so our this client is having this also is the RPA opportunity, RPA implementation plan, so high level business case. So we'll summarize, process architect will summarize this information. So discovery, sometimes, discovery may leads to POC. So clients will not give direct contract. So they will not ask you to develop solution design and all. They will say, okay, so you decided to, you said these are the processes which are eligible to automate, right? They select one process, client select one process, they select, client select one sample process, they ask you to automate it. Client select one sample process and they ask you to automate it. Okay, so this is, POC. So discovery phase may leads to proof of concept, or discovery phase may leads to design. If client is confident on you, so they give directly design. Otherwise, so they ask you to, so let's say 20 processes we decided, 20 they may ask you to develop the design for 20 processes, or they may ask you to do POC for one process. So these are the two different outcomes of the discovery. అంటే డిస్కవరీ తర్వాత POC కనే వెళ్ళొచ్చు, డిజైన్ కనే వెళ్ళొచ్చు. So who involves in RPA discovery team? So there are two teams. So the two teams, one is process architect team. Here you see process architect team, assessment engagement leader. This kind of people are from the client SME, we can say. The second team is technical architects working with the process architects and RPA developers. We also involved in this phase, but mainly, so the discovery phase role will be performed by our process architects and technical, mainly process architects. But sometimes process architect needs technical architect help. So who involves in discovery phase? So process architects, mainly process architects. Sometimes for clarification, so they need our help, technical architects and developer. So process architects are nothing but business analyst kind of people who has strong domain experience and all. So are technical architects and developer. See the some of the expected interview questions I have documented. Are we expected to study and understand technology landscape during the discovery phase? Are we expected to study and understand technology landscape? No. You need to understand the process flow. Technology landscape is this Java project, is this Citrix kind of thing, that is not required to analyze. Just you understand the process flow. Do we do business process re-engineering first and then RPA? This word is very very important if you are going with the RPA experience. Business process re-engineering. What do you mean by this? For example, let us say for one of the bank, just I'm trying to share my real time one scenario we have faced. For one of the UK bank, we have analyzed one process. The process has 20 steps. In the 20 steps, 19 steps are for, in the process steps, out of 20, 19 process steps are rule based steps. That means go to this, perform this, copy this, load this, monitor this. No judgment is required. But there is one step, step number 8. Step number 8 is it requires one bank manager manual approval. One bank manager has to take a decision. So let me simplify that. Step 1, copy. Step 2, load. Step 3, monitor. Step 4, give a call to US. Give a phone call to US. This phone call to US cannot be automated by RPA because RPA tools cannot deal with unstructured data. So text to voice mechanism is not there with RPA. Voice to voice system is also cannot be automated by using RPA. RPA main purpose is it can automate any task which is rule based. So what we recommended to client, we have done your analysis. If you want us to automate as it is, okay, as it is process, if you do automation, you will be having out of 20 employees, you will be having 2 FTE savings. That is 10% of benefit to you. Do one thing, do re-engineering to your process. Re-engineering means step 11 has a decision point which cannot be automated by RPA. You do one thing, you move this step 11 to step 1 or step 11 to step 20. See, you have total 20 steps in the process. So, as it is automation, 10% automation benefit to you. Do re-engineering of the steps. That means we understand this phone call is important for your business. So you cannot eliminate, you cannot remove that phone call, you cannot remove that step for automation benefit. But do one thing, you rearrange the flow. First you give phone call, then only start working. Or you do the phone call at the last step. That is called re-engineering. So reordering of the steps. Then you will be having 40% benefit. Means ఇప్పుడు మీరు ఒక ప్రాసెస్ ఉంది, ఇందులో మీరు రీఇంజనీరింగ్ చేసిన తర్వాత ఆర్పిఏకి వెళ్తే మీకు 40% బెనిఫిట్. యాజ్ ఇట్ ఈస్ ప్రాసెస్ని ఆటోమేట్ చేస్తే 10% బెనిఫిట్. యూ డిసైడ్ వాట్ యూ వాంట్. This re-engineering suggestion cannot be given by process architect, so he may want technical architect help. So technical architect do analysis on the re-engineering of the steps. Third question. So there is a broken business process. Broken business process means your process has 10 steps. Out of 10 steps, one step is extracting the data from web application, but that web application is very old application which is built on old technology and that is very slow. Application is slow. Your robot is fast. Your bot is very fast. It can extract any lakhs of records from web application, but application is slow. Then we tell, boss, as it is, we can do automation, 10% benefit or 20% benefit. You do one thing, your web application is giving, so I want to extract some data from web application that is very slow. Here we are unnecessarily, no, where 5 minutes of time is getting wasted. You do rebuild that application, you do some modifications to your existing application so that we can have a time saving. So you will get more automation benefit. But these are the recommendations and this is actually not our job. మీ క్లయింట్ ల్యాండ్స్కేప్లో కొన్ని అప్లికేషన్స్ ఉన్నాయి, అందులో కొన్ని స్లోగా ఉన్నాయి. ఆ స్లోగా ఉన్న వాటిని ఇంప్రూవ్ చేయడం మన జాబ్ కాదు. అసలు మాన్యువల్గా చేసే పనిని ఆటోమేట్ చేస్తాం అంతే. నువ్వు మాన్యువల్గా ఏ వర్క్ అయితే చేస్తున్నావు దాన్ని ఆటోమేట్ చేస్తున్నావు. మాన్యువల్గానే స్లో ఉంది, ఆటోమేట్ చేసినప్పుడు అప్లికేషన్ స్లోనే ఉంటుంది. బట్ ఇట్ ఈస్ బెటర్ టు గివ్ రికమెండేషన్ for re-engineering, reordering, re-engineering. So interviewer may ask you this question. So you have developed a Blue Prism script for one web application which is slow. So then we will tell. So first we do some discovery phase. At that time we will give some recommendations to client to re-engineer that application. If they are not okay, then we are least bother. వెబ్ అప్లికేషన్ పెర్ఫార్మెన్స్ ఇంప్రూవ్ చేయడం మన బాధ్యత కాదు. మాన్యువల్గా చేసే పని ఆటోమేట్ చేయడం మన స్కోప్. ఇఫ్ క్లయింట్ సెడ్ can your Blue Prism improve this web application performance? No, it extract data, loads into target. Yeah, as I said, these are the different phases in discovery phase. These are the different phases in discovery phase. Town call, kickoff, process assessment. So we have seen this, right? This presentation. So now, so town hall kickoff is just, introduction meeting. This is important. Process assessment. Process assessment. How process assessment will be? So how process assessment will happen? What is process assessment? How this will be happen? So process assessment, I will show you. Yeah. If you are a fresher, you give this, you explain this presentation, this slide, it is enough. But if you want to put experience, I will show you one more template also. Basically, to analyze whether the process, so to do process assessment, to analyze the process is suitable to automate or not, there is a process called, so SIPOC approach, SIPOC. S stands for supplier, SIPOC. So I stands for input, P stands for process, O stands for output, C stands for customer. These are the five parameters in high level. These are the five parameters we consider to do process assessment to decide automation potential. What do you mean by supplier? What is supplier? So supplier means, see here, from which system you are getting the data. Who is your supplier? Example, example, is your system, let's say I am extracting the, your robot is extracting the data from Excel sheet, but that Excel sheet is in Citrix, that Excel sheet is in VPN, behind the VPN, that Excel sheet is, so who is supplying the data? Is it web application? Is it mobile application? Is the data in the Linux? So which server is supplying the data? Because so in one process there can be multiple source systems, there can be multiple source systems, right? So which system is supplying the data? What is your source system? Can the, how many systems, how many source systems you have? Can we access that source system through bot? This is the first step. Supplier. Second, input. What kind of data it is supplying? Okay. Web application giving the data. What type of data it is supplying? Is it supplying data in HTML format, data in Excel format, data in PDF format? So what type of data it is supplying? Is the data is in voice format, text format? It may not be automated by using our tools. So we are going to decide that. So what type of data your systems are supplying? We have to document that. The third point, so process information. This is more important. At least if you are a fresher, at least you explain these parameters. How you do process assessment before developing the script? At least worst case. So sorry, ఇదంతా నాకు వద్దు అనుకున్నా కనీసం you talk about these 10 parameters. You talk about these 10 parameters. So number one, business flows. Number one, business flows. How many business flows in your process? How many business flows in your process? Example, my process is I want to automate sending a email. Process flow 1, send email without attachment. Process flow 2, send email with attachment. Process flow 3, send email so with multiple people in two. So identify all the sub processes, or how many business flows you have in the each process. How many business flows in the process? If you have more number of business flows, then it is complex to automate. Then so based on the business flows, we decide the complexity of automation, benefits of automation. So three simple points. Why we are doing discovery phase? Applicability of automation. Is it applicable to automate or not? If yes, complexity of automation. Then benefit of automation. 3 points: applicability, complexity, benefit. Validations and verifications. So if your process has more validations, if your process has more validations, example, step 1, extract the data. Step 2, validate each column, validate each Excel column. So if your process has more validations, then it is complex to automate. If your process has less number of validations, then easy to automate. And your process must be repetitive and rule based. Your process must be repetitive and rule based. Is your process is repetitive process, rule based process? You have to decide. I mean, you have to analyze. The process is repetitive process. That means daily one employee is doing that job. Yesterday, I told to one of my a colleague. So he said, from the next week I am coming in night shift. Why you are coming in night shift? Because night 9 o'clock, 12 o'clock, 3 o'clock at 3 time slots we need to monitor one SAP job. Monitoring means tell me what you are doing. So at 8 o'clock, so the process will start 8:15. The process has to be completed. So the job has to be completed. The job will load some data from pre-production server to pre-production server. We have to see the logs, whether that monitor that I mean production. So we have to start, we have to stop, and we have to see the monitor logs for any errors. I said it can be automated because in monitoring you are not taking any decision making. First thing, it is a repetitive task you are doing daily. It doesn't deal with any judgment. So most of the data loading jobs, monitoring jobs can be easily automated by RPA. So you need to analyze, is this repetitive process or once in a year? Once in a year, better not to automate. If it is a repetitive process, so daily job, so daily 3 times per day, then rule based. Rule based means he is not doing any analysis. Start, stop, start, stop. Go to some folder, extract some attachments, attach it. So many people are doing this kind of jobs. So those kind of repetitive rule-based jobs can be automated by using RPA. So no human judgment. Your process should not involve any human judgment. How many applications are there? If you have more number of applications, then it is more complex. So remote desktop technology. So is your application, your bot can access it directly. I mean your Blue Prism can access it directly, or it talk to remote desktop, then access it. So there will be two types of connectivity. For example, if I want to open my company mailbox, I will log into Windows, open it. If I want to open my client mailbox, log into Windows, then log into virtual machine, then open the Outlook. So if your bot has to extract the data from client mailbox, it is complex automation because it has to automate virtual machine and Outlook. If your bot job is extracting the data from local mailbox, then easy automation. Sir, what is remote desktop means? What is virtual machine? What is remote desktop? What is VPN? We are not asking you to write a code for remote desktop. We are asking you should be aware of what is cloud, why generally clients will ask us to log into VPN or remote desktop. So these are very basic things, at least in 2017. And one more point is, so number of FTE. See how many FTEs are working on that process. For example, there is one process called hiring a new employee. So there is a business process. Nearly 100 HRs are working on that process. Understand how many employees are working on the same process. This parameter is very important in deciding the benefit of automation. Volume of the employees working on the process, FTE and NT, number of employees. How many employees are currently deployed in that process? Second, AHT time. How much time they are taking now? Average handling time. How much time they are taking to, let's say, 10 SAP engineers are doing monitoring of the jobs. How much time they are taking? So daily 9 hours. They do monitoring job for 9 hours. Geographic spread. This is very important. So let's say it is one process. Different I mean more employees are working on that process. In how many locations they are working? For example, I have a process to automate this process one. If process one, 10 UK employees, 10 UK employees and 2 Indian employees. Means this process has some activities in UK, some activities in India. So 10 UK employees are working in UK, then 2 employees are working from India. Process 2, 10 employees are working from India, 2 employees are working from UK. These are the two processes. Tell me which process is better to automate. I have a process called approve the loan. For bank one, loan approval, 10 employees are working in UK, 2 employees are working in India. For bank 2, 2 employees are working in UK, 10 are working in India. Which process is better to automate first? First one or second one? First one, 10 UK, 10 employees are working from UK. Second one, 10 employees are working from India. Which process is better to automate? First one. Because in UK, high salaries they have to give. If you replace bots with the UK employees, they will get more benefit. So you need to, that's why you need to study geography study also. How many employees are working in that process, from which country they are working, and how many applications are associated to that process, how many steps in each process, which system is supplying data, is it repetitive process, is it repetitive process. So this kind of analysis we have to do. So, and one more point is definitize logical processes. So as I said, your process, so you have 20 processes in your company. Out of those, so 10 processes, for 10 processes, there are 3 steps common. That means log into Windows, log into VPN, log into Outlook. These 3 steps are common for 10 processes. So identify the common steps. If your process has more common steps, then we can do easy automation. So let's say 20 process, each process has 10 steps, 200 steps, and 200 steps are different. There is no logical, affinitization, then it is very difficult. Exception handling. So what do you mean by exception handling? Exception handling means, what do you mean by exception handling? Yeah. So exception handling is little bit different in RPA. It is not your Java dot null dot. So similar kind of concept, but it's the understanding should be a little bit different. Example: currently, 10 SBI employees are working on copy the data from server 1 to server 2. Daily their job is copy the data from server 1 to server 2. Suddenly, they got a virus alert in their screen. In their machine, they have seen a virus alert. What they do? Suddenly, they seen a virus alert. What they do? They escalate it to networking team or admin team. Some kind of complaint they give. Currently, we have replaced them with the bots. So, who is copying the data now? Bot. Suddenly, bot has to be deployed in some machine. Suddenly that bot has seen, so bot is unable to continue execution of the process. It has seen a virus alert. It is an exception. Suddenly no internet to bot. Suddenly you have deployed the bot in laptop 1, the laptop crash, hardware failure. Suddenly bot is executing the task, license expired. So these all are called exception scenarios. If your process has more exceptional scenarios, then it is difficult to automate. Your automation benefit will be reduced. So better to identify processes which has less number of exceptions. So the examples I have given are technical exceptions. There are some process-wise exceptions. Process-wise exceptions means, for example, let us say your bot. So I have a process. If you attach so and so document, then only loan will be issued. But if you are our existing customer, even though if you are not attaching the document, we will issue the loan. Here the exception is existing customer. Or any e-commerce sites, they give different discounts based on your prior performance, prior usage. So your process has more exception scenarios, more deviation scenarios, then it is less eligible to automate. Understand upstream downstream system. Upstream means supplier, downstream means customer. Means who is giving the data upstream, to whom bot is giving the data downstream. Here, how to understand? For example, you are taking data from web application which is used by branch manager, but you are giving data to a government authority, for example, a high court. Then it is not to install bot for the task, because high court contains legal data, sensitive data. It is better to avoid using the bot. So understand the customer. So who is going to use the data which is processed by the bot? So if your customer is a sensitive customer, better to avoid, like legal authorities of a government. So supplier, customer of the process, same point. Okay, so like this you need to analyze. Then, sir, which process is eligible to automate by using RPA? Yeah. So Aman, next I have not seen your question. Nested validation means so more decisions. See, let's say if you see the flow chart of the process, if your process has more decisions, that means I will show you one process. See, I mean you may not able to see this. Not required also. Not required also. See this. This is a process flow diagram. If you see more conditions, more decision boxes, these are called validations. If your process has more if conditions, if customer age is greater than 18, then do this. Like so, nested validation means validations under validation. So if your process has more number of validations like these boxes, then these are not easy to automate for this kind of processes. So it is not it's a complex to automation. Okay, so this is what the SIPOC approach means. So analyze supplier. So how the process assessment will be done? Supplier input, process output, customer. Understand validations, repetitive. Now you tell me that which process is better to automate using RPA. The process which is repetitive, which deals with which deals with structured data, no human judgment, no human judgment. Okay, so less number of exceptions, less number of validations. So if your process is dealing with structured data and some known source systems, so then it is easy to automate. If your process deals with unstructured data, it's not a repetitive process, and it deals with more human judgment, more human judgment. So then it is better to avoid the automation. These are the characteristics. Now, so first I have given answer to first point. What is first point? So total, what is the purpose of discovery phase? Three parameters: applicability, complexity, benefits. Applicability will be decided based on this. Applicability will be decided based on these parameters. But complexity measurement, tell me how you do complexity measurement logically. Automation benefit, how you measure. So we call, so in my company, we are following a data collection template. We have a data collection template. So we use the data collection template. I will show you one data collection template. So that gives you answer to the second question. Yeah, this is a data collection template. See this. So this has so many parameters. Now we do analysis on these parameters. Data collection template. So first we need to capture the information in the data collection template to decide. We are going to decide. This is the as is automation percentage. What is the percentage of automation benefit? And we are going to decide complexity of the automation. So is this process simple to automate or medium to or complex? Based on this categorization, benefits are different. For example, so all these are linked to simple, medium, complex. For complex automation, so it requires 3 months of time. Like this, estimation, staffing, schedules are depending upon the complexity of automation. So total discovery phase has three outcomes. We discussed about the how to get the first outcome. What is the first outcome? Applicability. Is this process eligible to automate or not? I have given the points. Second point is percentage of automation benefit, and complexity of the automation. Simple, medium, complex. How to get that conclusion, we'll discuss after the break. So go for 20 minutes break. So after 20 minutes I will be continuing the session, so till 10:30. So in that time I will explain you so the data collection template, because this template is input to your process design document, technical design document, and your technical design document is input to writing the scripts. Your technical design document is input to writing the scripts. సో ఆర్పిఏ అంటే ఇంత స్టోరీ ఉందండి. మీరు అనుకున్నట్టుగా ఒక టూల్ క్లాస్కి వెళ్ళిపోయి ఆ టూల్కి వెళ్ళిపోయి డ్రాగ్ అండ్ డ్రాప్ చేసేసి, సో ఎక్సెల్ షీట్లో వెబ్లో ఉన్న డేటాను డ్రాగ్ చేసేసి అదేదో మీరు డెవలప్ చేసినట్టుగా ఫీల్ అయిపోయి, సో మీరు రాసేసినట్టుగా కోడ్ కొంతమందిని చూస్తే నేను ఆటోమేషన్ వేర్లో డెవలప్ చేసేస్తాను, ఏముంది దానిలో డెవలప్ చేయడానికి. థర్డ్ క్లాస్, నాకు తెలిసి థర్డ్ క్లాస్ వాళ్ళు చాలు. మీ బ్రదర్స్ వాళ్ళ పిల్లలు ఎవరైనా ఉంటే, మీ సిస్టర్స్ వాళ్ళ పిల్లలు ఎవరైనా ఉంటే థర్డ్ క్లాస్ వాళ్ళు కూడా మీ పక్కన కూర్చోబెట్టుకోండి. వాడు మీకంటే ఫాస్ట్గా చేస్తాడు. వాడికి ఇలా డ్రాక్ చేయాలంటే మీకంటే ఫాస్ట్గా డ్రాక్ చేస్తాడు. సో టూల్ ఈజ్ నథింగ్ ఇన్ ఆర్పిఏ. యూ కెన్ డూ టూల్ సెల్ఫ్ లెర్నింగ్. దట్ ఈస్ ద స్లోగన్ ఆఫ్ ఆర్పిఏ టూల్. కొంతమంది అడుగుతున్నారు, సార్ హౌ ఆర్పిఏ టూల్స్ ఆర్ డిఫరెంట్ ఫ్రమ్ అదర్ టూల్స్. ఆర్పిఏ టూల్స్ యూ కెన్ డూ సెల్ఫ్ లెర్నింగ్. ఎనీ వన్ కెన్ డూ సెల్ఫ్ లెర్నింగ్. Customer can do self-learning, customer can automate. The point is not about tool and writing one script. You think about large level. In a large scale, I want to automate all HSBC BPO processes, so we need to deploy 10,000 bots. You talk about infrastructure, you talk about process, you talk about license, you talk about security, you talk about deployment, you talk about maintenance, estimations. This is the actual RPA. ఇదంతా చెప్తే కొంతమందికి అర్థం కాదు, కొంతమంది ఇదంతా మనకి ఎందుకు అనుకుంటారు. కాబట్టి అమీర్పేటలో కూడా వైజ్గా ఏం చేస్తారంటే ఆ డ్రాగ్ అండ్ డ్రాప్ చూసి పంపించేస్తే మీరు హ్యాపీ ఫీల్ అవుతారు, వాళ్ళు హ్యాపీ ఫీల్ అవుతారు. బట్ ప్రాసెస్ బాగా నేర్చుకోండి. ఫ్యూచర్లో ఇది ప్రాసెస్ బాగా ఎవాల్వ్ అవుతుంది. టూల్స్ ఏముంది, కొత్త ఫీచర్స్ వస్తూనే ఉంటుంది. ఇప్పుడు లిమిటెడ్ టూల్ అంటే ఏంటి, ఎక్సెల్ నుంచి డేటా అవుట్లుక్ మహా అయితే ఒక కంపెనీలో ఎన్ని సిస్టమ్స్ ఉంటాయండి. వెబ్లో డేటా ఉంటుంది, ఎక్సెల్లో డేటా ఉంటుంది, పీడిఎఫ్లో డేటా ఉంటుంది, టేబుల్ ఫార్మాట్లో డేటా ఉంటుంది, ఎస్ఐపి ఎన్ని సిస్టమ్స్ ఉంటాయి. ఇప్పుడు బ్యాంక్ వెళ్ళండి మీరు, మహా అయితే ఎన్ని సిస్టమ్స్ ఉంటాయి వాళ్ళ దగ్గర. ఒక వెబ్ అప్లికేషన్, ఒక ఎక్సెల్ షీట్, ఒక పీడిఎఫ్. ఎక్కువ వెబ్ అప్లికేషన్స్ ఉండొచ్చు. మన పాయింట్ ఆఫ్ వ్యూలో వెబ్ అంటే ఒక స్టాండర్డ్ ప్రొసీజర్ ఉంటుంది మనకి. ఎక్సెల్ అంటే ఒక స్టాండర్డ్ ప్రొసీజర్ ఉంటుంది, అవుట్లుక్ అంటే స్టాండర్డ్ ప్రొసీజర్ ఉంటుంది. Systems are limited. Systems are limited, but there are so many challenges in licensing, infrastructure setup, process. ఇక్కడ చాలా challenges ఉన్నాయి. Let's discuss the important topic called data collection template. In real time projects, this is the data collection template we use for RPA process assessment. This template is input to process design document, PDD, that is input to SDD, that is input to TDD. Then you write the script. First is data collection template, then PDD, process design document, then solution design document, then technical design document. Based on the technical design document, you write the script. Okay, so today we may not cover solution design, technical design. The topics will cover next Sunday. So today we'll focus on data collection template in detail. I thought of explaining you all the pages, but it is not possible. Today we'll cover discovery phase with 100% perfection. Remaining pages we'll cover in the next Sunday. So this is weekend RPA. I am conducting two type of classes. One is daily RPA classes, weekend RPA classes. This is for September month weekend RPA batch. This is the first weekend. So like this, you can attend weekends or weekdays, Monday to Friday, or both. Your wish. So if you want daily, 7 to 8. If you want weekends, Saturday, Sunday will give you the schedule. Most probably, so Sunday 7 to 11 like that, or Saturday and Sunday will give you the schedule. And one more, I have few updates. Next weekend onwards, we are conducting SAP classes to RPA students. Why? Because we are teaching here automation of SAP systems using RPA. That is actually my first project. We have automated SAP systems using RPA. Generally, RPA projects are mainly implemented for SAP automation, mainframe automation in real time. So, what we are doing from next weekend onwards, we are conducting SAP basic classes. Means once you install SAP, what is the basic flow of the SAP? How you enter the T code, how you open the flow, how you release the purchase order, material creation, kind of some basic SAP classes also we are conducting. So you can automate RPA for SAP. You can do live practice. How to use Blue Prism, how to do SAP automation using Blue Prism, how to do SAP automation using Automation Anywhere. Till last batch we have explained SAP theoretically. From this batch, I had a SAP. I'm working in SAP project basically. So I have 250 members SAP team working with me. So one of the person is going to come here. So next weekend onwards, he will teach you what is SAP basic flow. So then I will tell you SAP project which can be automated using RPA. Example SAP monitoring and all. So SAP live practice extended in Pakistan. Only thing you have to install SAP in your laptop. If you want to practice, see, if you want to become expert in RPA, see, online students, please go on self-taught. Yeah, mainframe also. We'll discuss about mainframe also, definitely for sure. We are working one by one. So till, as I said, till last batch we have explained SAP automation using RPA theoretically. Never we have practiced. But now, so we are working on that practical implementation from last 1 month. We have installed SAP in one machine yesterday. So he's going to explain the flow. So if you want to become an RPA expert, first infrastructure you have to take. One is first all installations. If you want to practice three tools: Blue Prism, Automation Anywhere, UiPath, install all these softwares in your laptop on the day one itself. So to become an RPA expert, RPA automation expert, first of all you should have your own machine and installed with all the licenses. Automation Anywhere, Blue Prism, UiPath. At least three tools you have to install. Even though you are learning one tool, but install three tools. That is the first step which is required. So first install. So how to install? So take your laptop. So there are so many people who will take 300, 200, 500 rupees. Install all the tools. UiPath automation where మనోళ్ళు కూడా ఇన్స్టాల్ చేస్తారండి. ఓకే, లేకపోతే అన్నిటికంటే బెస్ట్ మోడల్ ఇప్పుడు 200, 300 తీసుకుని ఇన్స్టాల్ చేసేవాడు ఉంటే అది బెస్ట్ మోడల్. ల్యాప్టాప్ ఇచ్చేసి ఇన్స్టాల్ చేయమని చెప్పండి. That is next one, install one. So web application only to install you can open through browser. Excel you have, Outlook you have in your computer, and so install if possible install some Citrix SAP kind of systems also. Sir, మీరు ఇవన్నీ ఇన్స్టాల్ చేస్తారంటే again it's practically not all these are related to licensing. SAP Citrix అన్ని మీ కంప్యూటర్లో మేము ఎలా ఇన్స్టాల్ చేస్తాం అవన్నీ ఇల్లీగల్ థింగ్స్ యాక్చువల్. టేక్ యువర్ ల్యాప్టాప్. సో మినిమం థింగ్ ఫస్ట్ చాలా మంది అడుగుతారు నన్ను, సార్ నేను గ్యారంటీగా ఆర్పీఏలో జాబ్ కొడదాం అనుకుంటున్నాను. ఫస్ట్ యూ షుడ్ హ్యావ్ ల్యాప్టాప్. సెకండ్ విచ్ ఈస్ ఇన్స్టాల్డ్ విత్ ఆల్ ద టూల్స్ అండ్ అప్లికేషన్స్. టూల్స్ ఉండాలి, అప్లికేషన్స్ ఉండాలి. సో టూల్స్ అంటే ఇవి బ్లూ ప్రిజం, ఆటోమేషన్ ఎవర్, యూఐపాత్. అప్లికేషన్స్ అంటే వెబ్ ఒకటి, ఎక్సెల్ షీట్ ఉంటుంది, అవుట్లుక్, ఇవన్నీ మీరు సపరేట్గా ఇన్స్టాల్ చేయాల్సిన అవసరం లేదు. అడిషనల్ థింగ్స్ ఆర్ అట్లీస్ట్ SAP, and we are working on mainframes also. So if you put in a resume, I have involved in automating web application, Excel, Outlook, SAP, mainframe. If you put more systems automation, they will give you more preference to you. So the end of the day, 0 to 3 years hiring will be done based on the how many tools you have knowledge and how many systems you automated. In RPA, project is not so important. I mean, what I mean to say, exact flow they will not ask you. Tell me the systems associated with your project. Tell me the systems you automated in your process. For example, if you tell, I have automated loan process, they may not ask you the functionality of the loan, but they will ask you, tell me how many systems are associated to this loan process. Is it associated with SAP server or Excel or web or mobile? What kind of data you extracted? Again, SIPOC approach. So this is more important actually. So what systems are there? So install those systems in your laptop. అమీర్పేటలో ఏదైనా ఇన్స్టలేషన్ 500 రూపాయలు చేస్తారు. ఒకసారి మీ ల్యాప్టాప్ ఇచ్చి ఎస్ఏపి సిట్రిక్స్ అన్నీ మీ దానిలో ఉండేటట్టు చూసుకోండి. లేదు కొంతమంది క్రియేటివ్ పీపుల్ ఉంటారు, అవన్నీ మీరే ఇన్స్టాల్ చేసి ఇవ్వచ్చు కదా అంటే ఇదంతా టైం టేకింగ్ ప్రాసెస్ అండి. నా దగ్గర లిమిటెడ్ స్టాఫ్ ఉంటారు, అవన్నీ ఇల్లీగల్ సాఫ్ట్వేర్స్, అవి ఇన్స్టాల్ చేయకూడదు. టైం ఇంపార్టెంట్. డే వన్ నువ్వు టూల్ క్లాస్లో కూర్చునే లోపు నేను ఇన్ఫ్రాస్ట్రక్చర్ రెడీ చేసుకో. ఫస్ట్ 10 డేస్లో రెజ్యూమ్ రెడీ చేయి. దిస్ ఈజ్ ఇంపార్టెంట్ ఇన్ ఆర్పీఏ. ఫస్ట్ డే ల్యాప్టాప్లో ఇవన్నీ ఇన్స్టాల్ చేసి క్లాస్లో కూర్చోడు. సో నువ్వు ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ ఇఫ్ యూఆర్ వర్కింగ్, జస్ట్ యూ టేక్ 2 weeks leave, you can upgrade to RPA. But first day you install all your infrastructure, క్లాస్లో కూర్చో. సో మనకి 6 times గ్రూప్ రెజ్యూమ్ జరుగుతుంది, 6 క్లాస్లో కూర్చోండి. 6 times ఆటోమేషన్ ఇవ్వాలి, 6 క్లాస్లో కూర్చోండి. సో ఈవినింగ్ వరకు ఎక్కడే కూర్చోండి. ఎక్సెల్ తీసుకోండి, ఎక్సెల్లో డేటా ఎలా ఆటోమేట్ చేయాలి, అవుట్లుక్లో డేటా ఎలా ఆటోమేట్ చేయాలి, యూ ప్రాక్టీస్ ఇట్. సో ఫస్ట్ 1 week 2 weeks you practice, upload the resume. So first day you should have tools installed, applications installed. Second week you should have resume. At this speed you have to work to get job in RPA, because everyone knows it is a easy technology. So there is a definitely chance of lakhs of profiles into this technology. ఈజీ అని అందరికీ తెలుసు కాబట్టి ఖచ్చితంగా అందరూ నేర్చుకోవడానికి ట్రై చేస్తారు. టైమింగ్ ఇంపార్టెంట్ అండి. సో ఇది నా సిన్సియర్ రిక్వెస్ట్. మీరు నిజంగా డెడికేటెడ్గా ఇన్వాల్వ్ అవ్వాలనుకుంటే డే వన్నే మీరు ల్యాప్టాప్ తెచ్చుకుని టూల్స్ అప్లికేషన్ ఇన్స్టాల్ చేసుకుని క్లాస్లో కూర్చుని, సార్ ఐఎమ్ ట్రైంగ్ టు ఆటోమేట్ దిస్ ఎక్సెల్, సో ఐ ఫెయిల్ టు డూ దిస్, కెన్ యూ టెల్ మీ? బికాస్ థౌజండ్స్ ఆఫ్ సినారియోస్ ఆర్ దేర్. ఇప్పుడు మీరు 21 days పెట్టినా 30 days పెట్టినా అన్ని సినారియోస్ కవర్ చేయలేమండి, ఏ ఫ్యాకల్టీ కవర్ చేయలేడు. సో డిఫరెంట్ సినారియోస్. సో సింపుల్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ చెప్తాను. లెట్ అస్ సే మేము సినారియోని ఆటోమేట్ చేయడానికి రీసెంట్గా మేము చేసింది ఏంటంటే, మా వర్క్ ఏంటంటే ఒక సినారియో మా మేనేజర్ ఇచ్చాడు, ఇలా యాజ్ ఇట్ ఈజ్ కాపీ పేస్ట్ చేసి తను ఏం చెప్పాడంటే ఎక్సెల్ డేటా హ్యాస్ టు బి కాపీ టు అవుట్లుక్ అన్నాడు. హౌ వీ హ్యావ్ డన్, వీ హ్యావ్ గివెన్ యాజ్ అటాచ్మెంట్. దట్ మీన్స్ వీ హ్యావ్ రిటన్ ఏ బ్లూ ప్రిజమ్ స్క్రిప్ట్ which will go to that folder, get the Excel file, open the Outlook, give it as attachment. That's what we have done. But my manager requirement is he don't want like that. You should do Control C, open Outlook. Your Blue Prism has to do this. Open Control C, open Outlook, open the new mail, Control V. You want like this. Giving as attachment is easy in Blue Prism. Doing this is not easy. And he said, exact format I want. What you have in Excel sheet, I want the same exact format, even including color. Let's say, so for example, I want to copy this yellow color also as it is. I want this. I want the color, everything as it is in Excel format to Outlook. So there are so many scenarios which may not be covered in your regular classes also due to the time constraint. So what you have to do, day one, tomorrow is your day one for automation anyway. So start and practice so many scenarios. Day one, try to automate one scenario Excel. Go with system wise. Master in Excel automation, master in Outlook automation, master in web. Go with system wise. Master in SAP. Okay. Anyway, so again, it's out of scope to me, but still. Okay. So let's continue our discussion. So now time is 9:40. Till 10:30, we'll continue the discussion. Data collection template. So continuation to RPA life cycle will be on next Sunday. Continuation to RPA life cycle will be on next Saturday, Sunday. So tomorrow, sir, రేపు పరిస్థితి ఏంటి అంటే tomorrow also we have 7 to 8 RPA classes. So tomorrow I will start RPA architecture. See, ప్రతి మండే టు ఫ్రైడే క్లాసెస్ ఉంటాయి. మీరు డైలీ రావచ్చు, వీకెండ్స్ రావచ్చు. సో కొన్ని అంటే వీకెండ్స్ చెప్పి వీక్ డేస్ చెప్తాను, వీక్ డేస్ సేమ్ బట్ డిఫరెంట్ టాపిక్స్. So total, so RPA process classes are divided into 3 weeks or 3 topics. Topic 1 RPA life cycle, Topic 2 RPA infrastructure and architecture. Topic 3 RPA live projects. 3 topics. So which topic you want? So you have to prioritize it. Sir, in RPA life cycle weekends నేర్చుకుంటున్నాను, architecture weekdays నేర్చుకోవచ్చు. Okay, fine. Let us go with data collection template. First step, so serial number. The second one is process description. What process you are trying to automate? So let us say we are trying to automate a process called risk advisor process. So this is the process we are going to automate. Process high level information is given to me by so this is the process information given to me. Risk advisor is the process name. So we're trying to automate risk advisor process. Here process AID. Process AID means just a identification number to process 001 or P001 or generally use case. Few people call it as a use case. Then use case hyphen 001. You may call it as a process, you may call it as a project, you may call it as a use case, all are same. Generally, in RPA world, project means list of processes is called a project. List of processes is called a project. A process is equal to use case. In some projects, they call it as a use case, or it can be called it as a process. You write the process description. What is the purpose of the process? So this will be given to you by client SME. So this is the process description. Process description is, risk advisor is a process which involves generating the credit risk rating for small corporate and mid corporate customers of the client in their credit appraisal process. The process is under commercial banking, which majority of the cases are from UK, in which the regional manager sends these applications. And see, try to understand the process description, because we do process assessment for this. This example ga తీసుకుని చేద్దాం. I have explained this in yesterday demo. If anyone has not attended the demo, try to understand this process. This is the process we are doing discovery phase to the sample process. Or I can say this is the sample process which we selected to discovery phase. The process name is risk advisor. Risk advisor is a process which involves generating the credit risk rating for small corporate and mid corporate customers of the client in the credit appraisal process. This process comes under commercial banking, with majority of the cases from UK, in which the regional manager sends these applications, and the global service centers in India. Global service centers process them. Global service center is nothing but BPO office in India. Risk advisor is a process which involves generating the credit risk rating from small corporate and mid corporate customers of the client in their credit appraisal process. See, I will tell you in very simple. So in UK, one UK citizen applied for a loan. So that has to be validated. Is this guy is eligible to loan or not? So we call it as a measurement of the credit risk. Measurement of the credit risk. So based on his credit history is based on some database which is called Moody's database. In India, it is CIBIL database. If you know CIBIL database, you applied for loan, you might be knowing this process. If you apply for a house loan or car loan or any loan, they check your credit history. Based on the score generated in the credit history, manager will approve or reject the loan. So this is the process. So the process name is risk advisor. The process name is risk advisor. This is the process description. What is the business line of the process? What is the business line of the process? So the business line of the process is, basically it comes under banking. It's a commercial. So main business line is banking process. Sub business line is commercial banking. What is the sub business line? Commercial banking. And process category name is risk rating or risk measurement. And locations, you see that it's not a locations where process happens, UK and India. Sir, how you know? That is given in the description. That's right. The process application will be sent by UK manager, processed by Indian employees. Indian employees in India. Indian employees means employees in India. Here you see client SME1, client SME2, client subject matter expert 1, client subject matter expert 2. See, for example, I am from TCS or any company, TCS, Capgemini, Accenture, I am from TCS. I went to client location, my client is HSBC, to do discovery phase, to do process assessment for data collection of the process. Then first I should have a dedicated SME 1 and 2, because in real time most of the times we have seen initially SME 1 has given demo to us. He explained the process. But when we delivered to production after automation, some different guy was telling different corrections. We don't want that. The person who has given the data, I mean process information, has to be validated. So it is better to write their names. Who has given KT about this process? For those only we will deliver it. Because see, initially they were telling some process. So later, so a different person is coming and he is telling no, this is not the process. That is not our mistake. How we develop the script based on the process information you have given, we develop the script. So who has given the process demo to you? You need to document. For example, John. So it is better to document one assembly one and two people, because one person might be on leave or kind of any stuff. And coming to this, see, so just I given an example. It can be Accenture or Capgemini, so anything. So which company you are working as a RPA developer? Okay, so based on your company, so you need to provide, so SPOC. So basically, you need to provide point of contact. Who is the point of contact from Capgemini or Accenture? Who is the point of contact? Means, so who is working on this process from our side? So we need to capture POC from client, POC from the IT company, POC from the client and POC from the IT company. So who is working on it? So QT1, QT2, these two are working on it. Yeah. This is important. You see the current equivalent FTE. This means this means we need to document the geography information. Currently, how many locations do we have? Any process step which deals with China? No. Philippines? No. Sri Lanka? No. Vietnam? No. Like this, so you add. So what countries you are dealing? This process is mainly associated to two countries. One is UK and India, because that not only for complexity, not only for deciding the complexity. Sometimes there are some countries which has restricted the implementation of robotics. So you need to understand that first. So there are some countries, so they said clearly, so no robotic automation is allowed, no artificial intelligence is allowed. So you need to understand, how your employees are currently distributed, in which location your employees are working. Understand the current equivalent FTE. So because in our example, so few employees are from UK, few employees are from India. Right? So understanding the distribution of the employees is important. So total how many FTEs are working on this process? I told you, because if more employees are working on the same process, then so I need this data to decide benefit of automation, percentage of automation benefit. So I need total FTE count. How many employees are working on this process? 20 employees. Sir, how you know this 20? It is given in this presentation. In demo, I explained this presentation. That's why, see, currently how many employees are working on this process? Current process executed out of Kolkata, Hyderabad with 20 FT. So currently how many employees are working? 20 FT. What is the geography? In India and UK, UK regional manager, India main employees. And what is the volume of the application? How many applications they are handling per day? 50,000 applications which are distributed between Kolkata and Hyderabad. Right. So V column, we are collecting this data to decide V column as is automation percentage. So V column we have to arrive. So the output of this data collection is giving answer to V column. What is the percentage of automation? Can we automate 10%? 10% automation means 20 by 10. I mean 10% out of 20, and the 2 employees can be replaced. 100% automation is 20 employees can be replaced by bots. 50% automation is 10 employees can be replaced by bots. Here you can see the answer after discovery phase, the answer we have given to the client. The answer we have given to the client, say automation of manual steps will reduce 45 to 50%. So how you decided that 45 to 50%? How you decided that 45 to 50%? To decide that only we are capturing this data collection template. So V has to be filled. So V is the output of this template. Then that's why I have highlighted in yellow color. Then operating hours. What do you mean by operating hours? So start and end time processing. This is very important. For example, a human employee or FTE, how many hours we can work as an FTE? Any employee can work 8 hours, 9 or 10, 8 maximum 8. How many hours a bot can work? 24 hours is wrong. Bot also has maintenance time. You need to shut down some time to do maintenance and all. So there bot can work 21 to 22 hours. Why 22 hours? I will discuss in infrastructure class, not now. But if you are giving any estimation RPA project, you have to tell a FTE can work 8 hours, bot can work 22 hours, not 24. 24 we tell for general answer, not in real time. 24 by 7 automation, but there will be downtime in infrastructure, so some upgrading, deployment kind of activities you have to consider. So 22 hours. That means I need 3 employees to run one process because one employee can work for 8 hours. So I need 3 employees to run one process. Then if I automate by using any bot, how many bots are required? One bot, because one bot can work for 24 hours in that general statement. One FT can work for 8 hours. I need 3 employees to work on one process. So how many bots I need? One bot. One bot. But example, if it is a trading process, the process is available only 8 hours per day. Trading process, 9 trading start out the 4 pages. Your bot is ready to do that. Your bot is ready to execute 24 hours, but process is down. It's illegal. According to the rule, the systems are shut. The source and target systems are down. Then can your bot can execute the process? No. So you need to capture operating hours of the process. Can I run this process 24 by 7 or there are any time constraint? So Venkat Ravikumar, as is automation means if you automate this as is without changing any re-engineering, without changing any steps modification, without rebuilding the application, then what is the benefit of the automation? As is means current existing process as it is automation. Okay, so this W column is important. Operating hours. See, generally we will be in an assumption that bot can execute 24 by 7, but application is down. Your mainframe server is down. According to the rule, mainframe server has to run only 8 hours because in banking hours only it will work. అర్థమవుతుంది. ఇప్పుడు మన బాట్ రెడీగా ఉంది రన్ చేయడానికి. ఇప్పుడు మనం ఎందుకు ఆటోమేట్ చేసామంటే వై వి హావ్ ఆటోమేటెడ్ డేటా లోడింగ్ అనుకుందాం. డేటా లోడింగ్ ప్రాసెస్ వి ఆటోమేటెడ్. డేటా లోడింగ్ డైలీ మార్నింగ్ 9కే జరగాలి, అది రూల్. అది 9 to 10 డేటా లోడింగ్ జరగాలి, వేరే టైంలో జరగకూడదు. ఇప్పుడు బాట్ ఉంది కదా అని 24 hours డేటా లోడ్ చేస్తే ఎట్లా? Bot is not for speed actually. Bot is to replace human task. Currently, how your employees are doing? Morning 9 o'clock, they are loading the data manually. So you need to understand process operating hours. Without capturing the W column, if it is a trading process is available 8 hours only. but you have gone with general assumption. 24 hours process available గా ఉంటుంది assumption తో వెళ్ళిపోయావు. Then you have proposed more automation benefit to client. Later you realized that so you have you went with the assumption called 24 hours process is available, but it is not true. Then so your estimation will wrong, and client will not be happy with that. It is a major trap, and W column is most important. మేజర్ ట్రాప్ ఇది. ఆటోమేషన్ బెనిఫిట్ క్యాలిక్యులేట్ చేసేటప్పుడు ఈ ట్రాప్లో ఉంటాం మనం. ఎంతసేపు మనం ఎలా ఉంటుంది, ఓకే సో 3 ఎంప్లాయీస్ని రీప్లేస్ చేయొచ్చు ఎందుకంటే 24/7. వెన్ యూ కెన్ డూ దట్ ఇఫ్ ప్రాసెస్ ఈజ్ అలౌడ్ టు రన్ ఆఫ్. సో ప్రాసెస్ టైమింగ్స్ యూ షుడ్ మెజర్. ఇప్పుడు కొన్ని మానిటరింగ్ అని చెప్పాను నేను. మానిటరింగ్ షుడ్ డన్ ఓన్లీ 8 o'clock, 10 o'clock, 12 o'clock. సో యువర్ బాట్ కెన్ బి యూటిలైజ్డ్ ఫర్ 8, 10, 12 ఓన్లీ. మీరు బాట్ లైసెన్స్ కొన్నారు కదా అని 24/7 రన్ చేయడం అనేది ఇట్స్ నాట్ ప్రాక్టికల్. సో యూ నీడ్ టు కన్సిడర్ దట్ పాయింట్. ఎనీ క్వశ్చన్స్ ఆన్ W column? ఐఎమ్ రెడీ టు గివ్ ఆన్సర్. దిస్ ఈస్ మోర్ ఇంపార్టెంట్ ఇన్ రియల్ టైమ్. ఫస్ట్ క్వశ్చన్ షుడ్ బి దిస్. ఓకే సో యు ఆర్ షోయింగ్ one system. Is this system available throughout the day? First question is that. Then only you realize more benefits of automation. Then so X column, average handling time. So average handling time means rate per hour. Average handling time means rate per hour. So rate per hour. So in our current scenario, so how many applications? We have 50,000 applications per day. 20 employees we have. So 50,000 applications. 50,000 applications. Number of applications are 50,000. Number of employees are 20. Per day they can work 8 hours. Per day they can work 8 hours. So what is average handling time? Average handling time per hour I want. Average handling time you can calculate. So average handling time, so hour wise, day wise you can calculate. Per hour how many applications they can handle. Total how many hours are there? How many hours are available per day for them? 18 to 20. That means 160 hours are available, right? So how many applications they are handling in 160 hours? 50,000. Yeah, 50,000 by 160. So per hour how many applications they are handling? 312 applications. So if you automate this scenario, client will expect more applications to be performed. More applications should be done by bot. Currently, so one employee per hour how many applications they are handling? Just go with some number. They are handling 312 applications per hour. Then if you automate this, so your bot is, let's say after automation you realize that bot can execute 614 applications or 624 applications. That means so speed is increased by double. You can tell this to client. You can inform this to client. You can say, boss, currently 312 applications per hour is your productivity. If you automate this, then so 100% increase in the productivity. That means average handling time will be reduced. Average handling time will be reduced. FTE count will be reduced. So one bot is handling more applications per hour. So no need of 20 employees. You can put 10 employees. Remaining 10 you can replace. Ask them to work on some other task. So understanding data collection template is very important. Then you design process, then technical everything you will get an order. Then so any questions on X column? X, W, X, these two are important. Why? Target SLA. Target SLA means sometimes there might be a rule. Like say example I will tell you. For example, you have implemented RPA to book Tatkal train ticket. Tatkal train ticket. The ticket booking should be completed in 1 second or 2 seconds. Otherwise, there will be no use. So in real time, it's a general example. In real time, there are some processes or there are some steps in the process which has to be executed in some timeline. For example, data loading must be. So I will give you one recent example. Whenever we receive a ticket from the client, the SAP support team job is connected to 17 systems, extract the logs, give the logs as attachment, send an email to customer and restart the server. He has to do this job by connecting to 17 servers, and this entire story has to be completed in less than 1 hour. It's a rule according to client. Otherwise our company has to pay penalty. Or or one more example, payment processing, month end salaries. So month end salaries has to be completed in some timeline, otherwise it leads to a legal issue. So there are some processes which are associated with the timeline, which we call it as SLA. SLA is nothing but service level agreement. So it can be a timeline, it can be a quality, there can be some rules. If there is any critical process which has to be executed less than 1 second, for suppose, it is better not to automate, because your bot may fail due to any reason, network issue, or due to any reason your bot may not be able to complete it, and vice versa. Opposite example, there is a process which has to be completed in 1 hour by connecting to 17 systems. More than human, bot is more effective here. So first understand any SLA is linked to this process. SLA means it can be timeline, some metric in timeline, or some quality measurement. Any rule is there which is defined by the client. Then process volume. This is also important, Z and AA, these two columns. Process volume means there are some processes which are seasonal processes. Those processes are really dangerous if humans are working. Example, we have a payments salary process kind of example we'll go with, then you'll understand. For them, for finance team, January 1st to January, every month 1st to 20th, they will not have any work. But 20th to 30th, they have huge work. So suddenly, so there are some processes which are seasonally high volume. That means the story is like this. I need I need 100 accountants from every month 20th to 30th. I need one accountant from every month 1st to 20. Is this possible to recruit like this? But it can be possible with bots. You can use one bot from 1st to one finance bot from 1st to 20, 100 finance bots from 20th to 30th. That means 100 finance bots can run your process. So one advantage with bot is easy to scale up. If you want more bots to run the same process, you can easily scale it up. How to scale it up, I will teach you later. One advantage with bot is, for example, if now the volume of the work is high, suddenly you got more customers for same process, you want to scale up your BPO employees, so to hiring process, training process is not required. You automate it, you get one more bot. And scaling up the bot is minutes. So bot doesn't require training, bot doesn't require hiring. So a automated process you can execute in bot just to take the license, scale it up. So first of all, here the coming to this context, you need to understand volume. What is the normal volume? 50,000 applications. Do you have any seasonal volume? That means sudden hike in last month, last week or kind of thing? No. Unit of measure for the volume, application. What is unit here? It's a application. So what our employees are doing? They are processing 50,000 applications. Volume is 50,000. What they are processing? Applications. Yes, AC. So now tell me what is the complexity. So now you know our process information. Tell me complexity. Is it complexity means is it simple automation, or is it medium automation, or is it complex automation? So what is the automation complexity? Simpler, medium, or complexer? So how you decide based on this collection template? I have a complexity calculator. I will explain you the complexity calculator also in next class. Next class means next weekend. So complexity calculator I will show you. And comments on the complexity. And one more parameter is number of systems. How many systems? Name of the each system. You write each system. So system 1 is web application. System 2 is Excel sheet. Even I have given the description also here. So type of the systems, is it Java system or mainframe system, Citrix or SAP? So how many systems are associated with your process? So understanding this is important while deciding the complexity. Before deciding the complexity, Understand the systems, how many systems are associated with the process, and system availability. Process availability is different, system availability is different. Process is available 24/7, but system is down for maintenance. IRCT is a process. You can book ticket any 24/7, but that booking server is down. These are two different points. So high level steps for upstream process, high level process steps. This column, see here it is documenting the process steps. This AO column is important. In-flight projects. In-flight projects means I have a process which has three systems. System 2 is web application, currently built on .NET, but in future they are going to migrate it to Java. So if you do automation also, next you need to change it. Or I will give you real example. Recently it happened in my project. In my current project, all our tickets information is in some tool called Jira. But next month onwards, client wants to migrate the Jira to ServiceNow. Now we recorded the scripts. Next month you have to change it. So in flight, this is example for in flight. In flight means there is, see, process has 20 steps. One step is open the ticket number. Currently your ticket number is in Jira, but in future your ticket number will be loaded to ServiceNow. That is the change in the process. That is called in-flight application. Definitely it impacts your estimation, because you need to record the script two times. You need to develop the script two times. There will be extra maintenance cost. You need to understand that point. So please mention if your process has any seasonality. I mean, this process is only available during this day, only weekdays, only weekends, only so and so time. Please mention if this process has any spike, sudden increase in the load volume. So exception percentage. This AS column is also important. You need to carefully get this information. What are the exceptions in the process? For example, I am validating the risk advisor. Suddenly, I mean, for one customer, author number is not correct. PAN number is not correct. Author number is correct, but his data is not present in the database. These are all our exception scenarios, negative scenarios. If your process has more exception scenarios, then you need to consider it as a complex automation. Is it compliance or regulatory requirement? If it is legal, I mean, are you building this for any government related authorities? Then you need to consider it as a high complex, because you need to do it very carefully. This may create a legal problems to you if bot failed to run this. So what is the percentage of is your process steps are deals with any data with paper or digital or voice? So here the point is AU column. The point is your process has structured data or unstructured data? How much percentage of structured data? 90% structured data, 10% unstructured data. Still, you can do automation. 90% unstructured data, 10% structured data. Avoid for automation. Don't select that process for automation. So you need to see. Client says we have a process, but it has so many exceptions. Try to avoid this for automation. If client says this process is for legal government authority, try to avoid for automation. If client says we have a process, this process has 20 steps, and one of the step is most of the steps are associated with unstructured data, avoid for automation. Tell them it is not suitable to automate. So if you want to give any recommendations or advice, number of process steps, number of fields associated with, number of process steps, number of applications in the process, number of fields associated to each application, number of flows, number of queue. See, number of queues means this is one important column. Understanding number of queues. For example, our client is in UK and BPO office is in India. In India, so there are two branches. One is Kolkata, Hyderabad, but client maintain a common queue. Means 50,000 application one by one he will maintain in one Excel sheet. Application 1 is picked by Kolkata, 2 can be picked by Hyderabad, 3 can be picked by Kolkata, 4 can be any application can be picked by any location. That is a common queue. Second scenario, our client is maintaining a queue, but in queue I have some applications. Application 1 to 10 only should be dealt by Kolkata. Hyderabad team should not perform that. So is it common queue which is shared between the locations, shared between any employee, or only specific employees are working on that queue? That has to understand. ఒకవేళ అది కామన్ క్యూ అనుకోండి ఈజీ ఆటోమేషన్. బట్ ఒకవేళ అది అలా కాదు, నాకు ఈ ఈ ఈ ఈ క్యూలో 1 to 100 ఓన్లీ ఈ లొకేషన్లో చేయాలి, 100 to 20 ఈ లొకేషన్లో చేయాలి రూల్స్ ఉన్నాయి అనుకోండి, then you consider it as a more complex automation. Because same thing applies in your automation tool. Your automation tool also will maintain a queue. So these are the sections. So based on collecting the data, we need to calculate mainly two things. What are the complexity of automation and as is automation percentage. Complexity of automation and as is automation percentage. Percentage of automation, benefit of automation. That's what we have said. See, this is outcome of the discovery phase. Outcome of the or summary of the discovery phase outcome. Summary of the discovery phase outcome. This is what the summary. We have measured the complexity. What is the complexity? Medium. How you decided the medium? I will show you complexity calculator and potential quantified estimation benefit. Here you see automation of manual steps will reduce FTE by 45 to 50%. So this is the outcome. This is a summary of the discovery phase. Then we talk about the design phase. And I will show you one document. See this. There are some guidelines for estimation. I will take you separate estimation class. Just for sample I will show you. See, simple means if your process has less than 15 steps in application, then it is called simple process. Greater than 15 to 25 steps, medium. Greater than 25 to 35 steps, then it is called as complex. Like this, there are some rules basically. So if your process has more linear flows, simple flows, so complex flows, queues, how many number of fields, so all these parameters, there are some rules for estimation. See, estimation, quantification I will discuss in the next class. This week you try to understand what are the parameters we need to capture while assessing the process eligibility for automation, while deciding percentage of automation benefit, and while deciding complexity of the automation. So data collection, you need to mainly explain two things. SIPOC approach, supplier, input, process, output, customer, and data collection template. These are the two things we need to capture. Is the discovery phase. Even discovery phase also not 100% completed. Some estimations are pending. That estimations I will cover in the coming classes. So if your client asks you to automate by using RPA, first you talk about, you send your data collection template to client, ask them to fill, or you have to fill it. Or you have to fill it. Any questions on today's session? అట్లీస్ట్ కనీసం నేను మీ నుంచి ఏం ఎక్స్పెక్ట్ చేస్తున్నానంటే మినిమం ఈ పారామీటర్స్ గురించి అయినా మాట్లాడండి. మినిమం ఈ పారామీటర్స్ ఇదంతా మీరు గుర్తుపెట్టుకోవాల్సిన అవసరం లేదు. అట్లీస్ట్ దీస్ పారామీటర్స్. Tell me which process is eligible to automate using RPA. What process is eligible to automate using RPA? How you capture that information? Data collection template. The data collection template also will give you the printout to offline students. For online students, we create a URL. You can browse it. You cannot download it, but you can browse it. You can see that template. Okay. So before we are going to close the session, what is RPA life cycle? Discovery phase, design phase, build phase, UAT, go live, support. What is the purpose of discovery phase? Applicability, complexity, benefits. What inputs we need? SIPOC and data collection template. or data collection template. Who involves in it? Process architect. He will coordinate with the technical architect. So open to questions. Then I will explain you the coming schedule and all. So, or if you have any doubts, even you can discuss with me offline.